Hey, it's Jeff with the Great American Whiskey Cookers. We are here at Old Louisville Whiskey Company in Louisville, Kentucky. We're going to go ahead and talk with Amine Karaoud, and we're going to find out what he's doing with his whiskey, where he's sourcing it from, and all of the whiskey finishings and the tastings that he's doing. I tell you what, I can't wait to find out what Amine is doing. Tucked away in a nondescript building in Louisville, Kentucky, is a small non-distiller producer, or NDP, called Old Louisville Whiskey Company. They're fairly new to the scene, but that doesn't mean they just started. They started around 2018, but have been holding on to their barrels till they were ready for the show. We introduce you to Amine Karaoud, owner at Old Louisville Whiskey Company, and he tells us his journey into whiskey making.
So this is where we do all of our operations. So me and my wife started this company. I was an engineer by trade, left corporate 2014, and I bought a liquor store in Old Louisville.
Yeah, so let's talk about that real quick, right? So you bought this liquor store with all sorts of knowledge of how to run a liquor store, right?
Absolutely zero.
Zero knowledge of how to run a liquor store. You learned it all in the weeds.
Literally, once we finalized the paperwork, we closed that day. I still remember that on Monday, my son was a week old. And the gentleman handed me the key at the closing table and he said, good luck.
Good luck. Yeah. That's what, he didn't say congratulations, he said,
good luck.
Good luck.
I wasn't sure if it was for the baby or for the store or for both. So yeah, no previous knowledge of running any retail whatsoever. So most of my career as an engineer was spent at General Electric building appliances.
Yeah.
From there, I moved to another corporate, Brown-Forman. 2 years in, I decided that's not for me. I bought a liquor store and moved on and never looked back.
That's great. All right, so let's back up just a little bit. Your accent is not a Southern Kentucky accent.
No.
So tell me where you're from and how you got here.
Yeah, born and raised in Tunisia. That's my,
North Africa.
Yeah, North Africa. I met my wife down in Florida. She's from here. A year later, I moved to Kentucky, which is 2003. So I've been here for 22 years almost.
So for the most part, you're a Kentuckian.
This is home.
This is home. Yeah. Amazing. So then you did the engineering thing for a while. You buy a liquor store, right? Now a liquor store is different than running a whiskey company.
Absolutely.
How did you get into running a whiskey company?
So this is back in 2015, right? The bourbon boom is kind of taking place and ticking. At that time, I was in process of opening my second location, trying to expand as a retailer. And I was learning about the industry, the bulk industry, the branding.
Mm-hmm.
We start seeing a lot of new brands coming to surface and start to question, well, who's making all these nice, good whiskey? And I found out that MGP, or the old Seagrams, is supplying everybody. So I decided to give them a call. I gave them a call and said, hey, what's the process to buy bulk spirit? And they said, fill out this paperwork, fill out this warehouse agreement, and send us your purchase order.
So you started buying MGP whiskey in 2015. You've been buying MGP whiskey that entire time.
Yeah.
Right?
Small amounts.
Small amounts.
Nothing crazy.
Okay.
As my budget allowed me, I was buying some barrels. And
so let me ask you this, and if you're not willing to answer the question, I get it, 100%. How much did a barrel cost you at that time?
Oh, honestly, without looking at the paperwork, I can't tell you. It's been 10 years, right? So it was a lot cheaper than today's prices, yes, I can tell you that.
How much does a barrel cost today?
Today, brand new barrel?
Yeah.
Brand new barrel today, you can buy it anywhere from $900 to $1,200. Depends who distills it, what kind of barrel you use.
Right.
Back then, brand new barrel is probably $600, $700.
Okay, all right. So you start buying barrels, and you bought the barrels with the idea that you were going to make whiskey, or did you even know what you were going to do with it at that point?
At that point, there wasn't like a clear of what I'm gonna do, right? I have a store that's running. I'm in the process of opening a second store. They both still exist in Louisville. We finally had, both stores running steadily and consistently making money. So it was a tough decision just to let go of guaranteed income from 2 retails.
Yeah, because you can't have a store and have
You can't.
That's illegal.
Yeah. So most states, I don't think you can be a producer and a retailer at the same time.
Right.
I don't think you can have more than 10% ownership of either or. So it was definitely a decision to be made, whether you sell your barrels that you've been inquiring for almost a decade or start a brand. So we started a brand.
How did you land on the name Old Louisville on your brand? I'm curious.
Yeah. So Old Louisville is kind of like the neighborhood that saved me from corporate.
Okay, explain that.
I was buying rental properties in Old Louisville.
Okay.
And when the liquor store came for sale, my bank financed me. I had other projects that are successful, they're paying for themselves, I have cash flow. They said, we can finance you for the building, the liquor store is not worth anything. And I said, that's fine. I just want, the liquor store, the building. So they financed me and I was able to step away from corporate and build my own, little business. So that's how it started.
So how long did it take from the time that from your liquor store, you start buying barrels, how long was it till you started bottling under the Old Louisville brand?
Almost 8 years, 7.5 years, 8. So we started buying early 2015. We didn't start the brand until August 2022.
Oh, so that's a long runway.
It is, but I mean, we didn't want to do anything, risky or anything that will put us in, put our life and our kids' life in jeopardy. So we were very conservative. We were buying barrels, we were building inventory, making sure the barrels are old enough. We don't bottle anything younger than 7.5.
Everything that you bottle is 7.5 years or older.
Yes.
Nothing is younger than 7.5
Nothing
years.
is younger. So we decided not to bottle any young whiskey. The whiskey does show much better profile after 7 years, and that's what we decided to do. Wait until the whiskey is at least 7 before we launch the brand.
And is it all MGP whiskey?
99% of everything we released so far is MGP. We're getting very close to launch or release some of our Kentucky barrels that are 8.5 years right now, so they're ready to be, shown.
Oh my goodness.
So we waited. If you don't have time to do it right, you will have time to do it all. So every time I try to do anything, whether wash my car, fix something, anywhere in my house, try to build a business. If you don't have time to do it right, you will have time to do it over, because when you half-ass it, it's not gonna work.
So where do they find you? How do they get in touch with you? How do they find your spirit?
So obviously we're here based in Louisville, Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can find us online, oldlouisvillewhiskey.com. You can find us on social media, Old Louisville Whiskey on Instagram and Facebook. So we're easily found.
Fantastic. You can find us at thegreatamericanwhiskeycookers.com. Like us on the socials, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Go to Patreon, become a member. We'd appreciate it. A big thank you to our Patreon supporters. We end every episode the same way with the same toast. If you can't be good at it. Cheers.
Good at it. That's 117 proof.
This is a winner. Oh my God.
Yeah.
This beats that Weeder.
It does. It does. Don't get me wrong. That Weeder has its, its own, place, but that recipe, if you allow it enough time, dude, it it's gorgeous.
Oh my
So
God.
rye is a grain of flavor.
Yeah.
So higher percentage of rye, allow it enough time, proper barrels, it shines.
That's phenomenal.